Well, Space Fams, good to see you here on this election night, Tuesday, August 18th. Got a lot of election results for us to look at this evening, so we better buckle up. Prepare yourselves for democracy. Okay. I'm starting a little later than I wanted to tonight, but we are here. We're ready for election results. 28 House elections in Florida. Multiple Senate races and other things like that. In the 3 states with primaries here tonight. I guess we'll just start here by watching some clips.
Well, Democratic Socialists are looking to wrap up a big win in Florida on Tuesday. It'll be the last major midterm primary test. Establishment Democrat and incumbent candidate Congressman Jared Moskowitz will take on Democratic Socialists Oliver Larkin. Democratic Socialists making waves, focusing their platform on defunding police, immigration enforcement, and the Department of War, with some even calling to abolish the Senate. Voters have been split on progressive candidates, with the DSA picking up wins in Michigan and New York, but losing a major gubernatorial primary in Wisconsin. With us now, Oliver Larkin, Democratic Socialist congressional candidate in Florida. It is wonderful to have you this morning, sir. Thank you for joining us. So I wanted to jump in to some of your policy stances to start, including universal health care, bans on assault weapons, Social Security reform, federal rent caps. We know that all of this resonates strongly with your base, but getting support beyond that, that is the central question. What is your message to moderates who have concerns about your electability in a general election? How are you working to shore up support there?
Well, there's a great deal that we can do as progressives to work with Republicans on the other side of the aisle. I think we've seen that done quite skillfully by Representative Ro Khanna working with Congressman Thomas Massie on issues including the Epstein Files Transparency Act and the Iran War Powers Resolution. Donald Trump ran on ending wars, and now we're embroiled 6 months into this war with Iran that has been entered into without the consent of Congress. And that's not fiscally responsible. We're spending $1 to $2 billion a day on this war, and of course I want to make sure that we reform our taxation.
Okay, I'm going to switch over to the Kornacki live stream because the results are coming in hot over here. I'm just trying to get myself more organized right now. It's a little I've been struggling with sleep and shit over here lately. Good Lord.
Today's the day to...
Kornacki, come on, Kornacki. Let's get into this. Let's start digging into these results. They're coming in hot.
Now to Commitment 2026 is primary night in the state of Florida. Republicans and Democrats are deciding who they want to represent them in the midterm elections this November.
Polls are open until 7 o'clock tonight, so if you haven't voted yet, you still have plenty of time to get to your polling location. We have seen people from all over Central Florida making their voices heard. We are tracking several major races for local, state, and federal office.
We will get to West 2's Kennedy Mason and Patrick Perez in just a moment. They are checking in with voters in Orange and Seminole counties.
Yes, indeed. Polls closed officially in Florida. Votes are coming in. Let's start looking at the results.
Mills was winning that with 43% over Elijah, 36%. And in the most recent update, which was 3,000 votes, Elijah was winning that 46-34.
So there, I mean, this is interesting because with the MAGA vote tends to be more that election day. Is Mills going to get the MAGA? Now this is 3,000. This might be kind of an outlier, but is this telling us that Elijah might be outperforming Mills with the election day vote. And if that's the case, again, Mills would be in big trouble because, look, he jumped out to a lead in the early vote here in Volusia. And now if Elijah keeps hitting the election day vote at the clip Adam just said, Elijah would probably catch Mills with the remaining vote there in Volusia County. You know, we have to see if it looks any different in Seminole County. But potentially that is, this is an incumbent who's clearly in some trouble right now. Some big trouble there in the 7th district. In the 6th, I did want to check in. We said we thought Randy Fine would likely be okay. This is what it looks like. This is just one county here, Lake County. We're getting a part of Lake County in. Fine leading that by about 35 points. Again, 7th district.
Dude, I just see what I... Wait. Is that... Dan Bilzerian is running for the House in Florida. That dude is a fucking lunatic. Of course he's running for Congress. Doesn't look like he's doing too hot.
Part of Lake County in. Fine leading that by about 35 points. Again, 7th district. Where else? Just looking, do we have some numbers here? Looks like the 14th district. We've got some numbers. This is Kathy Castor, the Democrat. Again, we've actually got a result here. Okay, so this is significant. Mike Beltran is a former state legislator from Hillsborough County. NBC News is projecting will win the Republican.
Okay. While Kornacki's doing this, I want to take a look at the results, at our maps, our candidates. Unfortunately, things are not looking very good here in Florida right now. We got dozens of candidates, and they are all seemingly struggling from what I can tell. We had no run in the first. Yen Bailey is the preferred candidate here in District 2. She is behind by 647 votes. Back by 2.5% here in the second. District 3, Troy Albers is way far back. He was the galactically preferred candidate here in the third. He's behind by like 40%. This isn't happening in District 3. District 4 has already been called for Holloway. Brittany Robinson was the preferred candidate. Supposedly 81% of the votes already been counted. She was back by 46%. That is an unfortunate result in the fourth. In the fifth, Alex Hazen was the preferred galactic candidate here. 67% of the vote in. He's lost. It's already been called. And there's no making up that 43% gap between him and Grage. I don't see how he's going to do that. In District 6, Ronnie Murchison Rivera is the galactically preferred candidate. He is behind by 5% right now against Jans. District 6, 42% of the vote in. Very close race here. Anybody could actually get this, in my opinion. This is still very much contested. In the 7th, Marilana Kinter is the preferred candidate. She is way back. I don't see how she's going to make this up. I mean, it could happen, but 30% of the vote in, back, behind by 20% of the vote, more than 21% of the vote. That's not good. 8th, 9th, and 10th, of course, no races there. Maxwell Frost in the 10th, going no challenge. Dan Williams, however, in the 11th, third place, loss. Victory has already been called for Pericola in the District 11. Beating the second and third place challengers by 20%. I mean, this is Florida, but these are not the results I was hoping for here tonight. Very disappointing. Very disappointing so far, I'm afraid. Where was I? 12, there it is. Darren McCauley, galactically preferred candidate, could still do it, but this is this one's rough. He's behind by 1,600 votes right now. 4%. With 92% of the vote in. That's going to be tough. I don't know how he's going to win this. That's going to be very difficult to pull out there. Unfortunately, again, District 13, Branch Robinson, the galactically preferred candidate, coming in second place. Behind by 40% to Gray in District 13. Robert People actually winning here in Galactic in Florida District 15. Currently up by 8%, but he's got to hold that out. Up by 2,800 votes. That's not bad. It's a pretty good spot to be in. He's actually got some very good policy positions, if I recall correctly. So that is one small light shining. Kelly Kirshner taking it down in District 16, actually. There's one galactic win. Jesus Christ. We need more. We need more wins. This is not a good start. We've got so many elections. We need so much more winning. We need more winning. Oh, we need more winning, Space Fams. Alan Spence. Jesus Christ. Alan Spence in District 17 is currently behind by 13%. 5,000 votes to Montavon. 72% of the vote in. That's going to be tough to win in there. But I guess we can still hold out some hope. District 19, District 18, no challenger against Gibson. Howard Sapp, the galactically preferred candidate in this three-man race in the 19th, is actually winning right now, but not by a lot. 38 votes right now, 0.7% for Howard. And then they're already calling District 20, which is bothering me big time. However, Elijah Manley is not doing well. He's doing really badly, actually. Elijah Manley only getting 13% of the vote, 81% supposedly in District 20. Debbie Wasserman Schultz already being declared the winner here. I mean, it's deeply disappointing. Oh, Debbie's one of my least favorite people in all of this race here. That's no good. That is a frustrating result there. And I don't think that there's any chance Elijah pulls out 18,000 votes somehow between now and the end of the night. Unfortunately, I don't think he had the best presence, if you will. I feel like he could have done more to get out there. Not that he wasn't doing nothing, but that just I felt like he could have done slightly more. But he was not. I'm just honestly, I'm just coping right now because he was out there. He was doing shit. Maybe not as much as Oliver, but still. I mean, that's a very disappointing result. Granted, Debbie Wasserman Schultz is an incumbent in this district. She's very well known. She's been in Congress for forever. I was just hoping that her fucking name recognition wouldn't carry her to victory. That's very that's very frustrating me. What was I saying? Bernard Taylor, a galactically recommended candidate in District 21, winning right now by 5% with half of the vote counted. Unfortunately, Kezia Early losing in District 22 here to Dondia. That one makes me a little sad. No results in 23 yet for some reason. In 24, Oliver Gilbert, galactically preferred candidate, is currently winning with 72% of the vote in by 2.3%. 1,200 votes or so for the other Oliver. Remember, there's two Olivers in this race. Well, not in this race, but in running in Florida in different races. Oliver, for now, looking like he's doing fairly well. Well, we just got a bunch of fucking votes come in the District 23. Victoria Doyle is way behind. Oh, that's not good. She's done. 92% of the vote in, though. Yeah, that's no good. That's not happening. That one's not happening. Yeah. Whoops, that's way too red. That's angry red. Don't do that. There we go. That's much nicer. Yeah, of course. I mean, Wasserman, one of the many reasons that I have a problem with Debbie Wasserman Schultz is her rat fucking Bernie Sanders 10 years ago in the 2016 primary. I'm fine. All right. Oliver Gilbert currently winning in the 24th district by 1,200 votes. Oliver Larkin has already been declared the loser against Jared Moskowitz. I almost can't concede this yet. Like, I know NBC's already declared them a winner. I just can't stand this. This is pissing me off. 5,000 votes short? How? I mean, it's only 44% of the vote counted so far. Ugh. Stop the steal. Come on. Anyway, District 26, there were no, all the challengers dropped out before the primary. Lachlan was the preferred candidate, so good job, Lachlan. She's going to be going to the general. Great job, Nicole. District 27, Robin Pagero trying to, what was this guy's name? Eric Rodriguez, I think, is behind by 2,000 votes right now. 7%. 65% of the vote counted. Not looking great. Not looking great. Anyway, let's go back to Kornacki, see what the hell he's doing over here. I'm going to keep looking at the results.
Okay. Chevron Jones, state senator in the Broward County portion of the
Chevron
district,
Jones
is leading Oliver Gilbert.
Of course, somebody
by 9.
is named
Kendrick Meek.
Chevron.
So, okay, one thing we can see
never mind.
from in the 24th district overall is that the Meek comeback, the third generation attempt by the Meek family to win this seat, not going to happen. So this is now a race between Oliver Gilbert and Chevron Jones. And let me just, I had a note on this that I want to keep in mind here. So there is a geographic split here, right? Oliver Gilbert is the Miami Gardens mayor. This is the Miami-Dade portion of the district, and Chevron Jones is a state senator. I'm sorry. This is the note I had. Let me just read this to myself because I want to pull sort of bigger lead with the early vote.
What the hell are you talking about, Kornacki?
Okay.
Dude has no idea what the fuck is going on in here, man. This is your job, Kornacki. You're getting paid millions to do this. I'm just sitting around here on my space station. Anyway, we also have, I'm almost forgetting, but we do have other elections tonight.
That's significant if that's...
Got to look into Wyoming. I don't know when that closes. There's not a lot of elections happening
Gilbert,
there.
Again, that's former Miami-Dade commissioner. Much more of the vote, is on the Miami-Dade side. This is like 75%, 25%, Miami-Dade, Broward. And again, we got 70% in Miami-Dade. Gilbert's leading there by 6. And we got 80% in Broward, and Jones is leading there by 9. But you could, again, look at the raw votes. So with 30% left to come here, if this pace continues, that's advantage Gilbert because there's more votes from his portion of the district. Chevron Jones, 80% is in from the smaller portion of the district where he's leading. Only 70% is in from the bigger portion of the district where Gilbert is leading. And
yeah, what that poll found.
By the way, I almost forgot. I was trying to find this. Here it is. Here's the Senate special primary results right now. Angie Nixon is leading by 8% against Alex Vindman. 80,000 votes up, with 75% of the votes already counted. This is looking very good for Angie right now. That one we can feel good about for a second. Oh, she just got even more votes. Let's go, Angie.
Gilbert's source of strength than from Jones, and there may be, we'll see, some indications of Gilbert doing better with the Election Day vote. Okay, that's in the 24, and again, that's an overwhelmingly Democratic district, so you're just looking at...
We just got an update in Florida 22 in Collier County, and I believe.
And there it is. Okay. Casey Askar, NBC News projects, will win the Republican nomination for Congress in the 22nd congressional district. I believe we might already have it. Yes, he will face Pia Dandia in the general election. Pia Dandia, a former White House fellow under both Democratic and Republican administrations. She's championed by national Democrats. They've been excited about her candidacy. She wins her primary as expected with ease, and she will face off again against Corey Askar. Now, Corey Askar had run originally a number of years ago.
Yeah, it's Casey. It's Casey. His name is right in front of you, Kornacki. How do you call this guy Corey 3 times when you have his name in big, bold letters right in front of your stupid face? God damn it, Kornacki. Holy cow. You're getting paid the big bucks for this, and you can't seem to do simple shit.
Casey comes out of Collier County. You're winning that 2-1 if you're Askar. And then right next door, Hendry, this is small. But between these two counties where you got results, it's more than half the vote. Then meanwhile, you get to Inland Broward County. And look at that. Askar is in the game there. So that adds up to an easy victory for Askar. He'll be the Republican nominee again against Pia Dandia. And this is, I'm sorry, that's the Collier County vote. This district under these redrawn lines went for Trump by 10 points.
Like, seriously, though, what is Kornacki's other job? He doesn't do regular segments, right? Like, this is his only job, is to focus on the elections. When it's done, what does he even do? He doesn't go to start doing segments in the, off election. He just sits around waiting for his paycheck, right? Like, I mean, think about that for a second. This guy's only job is elections. Is the only thing. This is the only thing he does on MSNBC. He doesn't have some big show on NBC, right? Like, he doesn't do random segments. He's not in the field, like, interviewing people. This is his only thing, is standing in this fucking studio and doing elections, and he can't manage to remember the names of candidates. And it's crazy to me. Like, I've got so much other shit I'm focused on, like all these other stories and shit, and I can remember some of these names faster than Kornacki can. And it's crazy to me. What are you doing in your free time? Squash? Like, what are you... Focus, Kornacki, for the love of God.
We got Sarasota, St. John's, Pasco, Hillsborough.
Look at Duval. Yeah, where did Sarasota land? Still about that 64%, 63.
Don't be so hard on Kornacki.
Palm Beach is at
Look,
90. I mean,
I'm sorry, okay?
This is a total...
But I'm a little salty about the fact that this guy gets paid millions of dollars to stand here and be wrong about elections all the time. You know, it just bothers me. Like, there's something that feels genuinely wrong about that. Like, you should be right all the time about these elections, at least about the details, not necessarily like predicting election results, but just getting names right, like basic shit. Like, that should be for this guy whose only professional focus are these elections. This should be so easy for him. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like, it really is, right? Like, he could have spent, like, I don't know how long it would have taken him, but, like, a few hours, maybe? Like, and just memorize the names of all the people running in tonight's race. It's not that many people. It's, like, maybe 100 names total. Like, it's, like, really, like, it's just not that hard. Like, a bunch of simple-ass shit. This is his only responsibility in life.
In North Florida, small counties.
We did get an update in Florida 7 as well.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look there, because there's a lot of... Okay, we got... Wow. Huge update. We said, is Seminole County going to be different than Volusia County? It is. It's more pro-Elijah. It's more anti-Mills. Mills is in deep trouble. District-wide, Elijah now leads Mills by 6 points. But what are the ingredients? Volusia County, a little bit less than half the vote. What happened? Mills won the early vote. The election day vote has been breaking sharply for Elijah, who's taken the lead in the count there. The expectation would be that number is going to increase as more election day vote comes in. Then next door, in Seminole County,
I'm going to check in here. This is the live stream from the Oliver camp. Just want to see what's going on here. Okay, they're just watching Kornacki right now. Yeah, I'm just checking to see if Oliver has spoken yet. Doesn't look like it. Okay.
Reiterated a lot of endorsements in the closing stretch of this campaign. This was now one that he reiterated. And Mills, you could see what's happening here. Elijah, by the way, it's interesting. Again, this is a theme here in these Florida primaries of candidates coming from other states. Elijah's from Indiana originally. He ran in a congressional primary, Republican congressional primary in Indiana, in the Fort Wayne area back in 2010. Then came down to Florida, established himself. Again, I think he was the host of Good Day Orlando. Certainly a good way to get name recognition in a district. Looks like it's paying off for him there. Okay, no call there yet, but so we've called so far, again, to keep you apprised of this 14th district. This is one of those that Republicans, a Democratic district, Republicans are targeting. Mike Beltran has been called as the nominee. He'll face off against Kathy Castor. And in the 22nd district, also targeted by Republicans, Democratic district targeted by Republicans in redistricting, Casey Asker called, will face off against Pia Dandia. The 9th district, we continue to watch. I think nothing new has come. It looks like we got Glades. Glades coming in. This is very, very small, but Glades coming in there for Butler as expected. This is the Butler core of the district. Waiting to see, the next shoe to drop in Indian River. We've got early vote. Is the election day vote going to look like it? Is it going to look different? That's a fair question.
Okay, just a reminder, everybody, we have multiple other elections happening tonight. The Alaska primaries are happening. I mean, it's not a lot of elections, but there is a Senate, a governor, and a single House district up for grabs here. Same thing for Wyoming. Results for Wyoming will be coming in an hour. For Alaska, it's like midnight or something. Yeah. 1 a.m. Jesus Christ. Okay, so like 5 hours from now, the Alaska results will be coming in. But Angie keeps gaining ground against Alex Vindman right now, as you'll see here, up 11 points right now, 111,000 votes ahead. I'm calling this one. I mean, this is over. I don't see how Alex Vindman's going to pick up 111,000 votes with 256,000 votes remaining. Like, you see this? You see what I'm saying? Like 100 pick up like 111 against Angie. Like, he's not going to be able to do that. He's got to get every single vote. He's basically got to get every single vote now, and he's losing 5-4. That math does not math. I don't think Alex is going to be winning. Angie, it's looking more and more in the bag for her.
Lee?
I think there's some mix there in Lee.
And we think Collier's complete?
Yes, Collier should be complete. And if you want to go to the district-wide.
Yeah, that's wow. And yep. So NBC News projects that Jim Schwartzel will win the Republican primary in Florida's 19th congressional district. This is significant. He defeats the Trump-endorsed candidate, Catalina Loff. And we just saw it before that check mark came up. That was the tell, and you got it out of Collier County, where, if you remember, the first votes that came in here, the early vote had Schwartzel leading by 10, and we said, okay, that's a good start for him, but with that Trump endorsement, was that going to result in a big reversal on the election day vote? Clearly, Loff did better on the election day vote than she did on the early vote, but only enough to cut what it was a 10-point deficit down to 5. And so when she emerges there short, and then you get the early vote here in Lee County showing, the same break, that's enough. That's just too much for her to overcome. So again, this is a overwhelmingly Republican district. This has sort of become one of the core Republican areas in Florida, kind of quietly, this sort of Southwest Florida area here, super fast growing.
Okay, gonna bring you up to date on the latest elections results here. Since Kornacki is so focused on Republicans. Getting more races called. 5th district's been called, 4th district's been called. Neither going for the galactically endorsed candidates. Yen Bailey still trailing in District 2 by about 2 percentage points. A little bit more for Ronnie Murchison Rivera in District 6. Unfortunately, galactic candidates are trailing in most of these elections right now. Yen Bailey, Troy Albers, Ronnie Murchison Rivera, Marielana Kinter. She's back by 16 points right now. Darren McCauley is back by 5% in District 12 with only 5% left to call. I have no idea how. That's literally impossible for him to win. Robert People, the only galactic candidate that seems to be in the lead in their race right now. Oh, sorry, I take that back. One of 2 that are still leading their races. District 15 over here. District 17, Alan Spence is behind right now by 11% with only 14% left to count. Another bad math problem there. Don't know how that's going to happen. Howard Sapp in the 19th behind by 4% with 11% to count. A slightly better calculus there, but not much better. District 21. Bernard Taylor is now trailing by 1% with 92% of the vote in. Oh, back 400 votes right now. Bernard, come on, buddy. Oliver Gilbert still leading by 2% in District 24. Peguero trailing by 7% in District 27. God, we had so many opportunities today. They are not going well. I mean, sure, things could turn here, but there's not a lot of turning that can... You're going to need a lot of turning to happen to make good things happen here in Florida. Right now, we've got one actual win. If you don't count Nicole's, all of her primary challengers dropping out of the race, or Maxwell Frost, same deal. Those I'm not counting those. We already knew those things already going into tonight. I'm just trying to do the math on which ones we can win. I mean, we got one here in the 15th. We got one here in the 24th. So 15, 24, and maybe 21st. Yen Bailey, I guess, also in the second could technically do it. It's just, God, I'm so disappointed by tonight's election results. I mean, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Jared Moskowitz, these two are just awful. But their races have already been called. And Oliver Larkin, I mean, as the more votes come in here, he is not making up any of that. Lost almost 2-1, 64 to 35%. Manley came in third place. I mean, that one is even crazier to me. They were out there getting out the vote. Makes you wonder just how tuned out people are in Florida. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try and figure that out right now, but... Because there was a lot. I mean, these guys were in the news. They're on mainstream news, local news, independent media. They were holding rallies, phone banking. 100,000 calls made for Oliver. 14,000 votes. Oh, God, that one... Something's bugging me a little bit.
excuse me, I see for governor in Florida. He will face off in the fall against Congressman Byron Donalds. NBC News projects will win the Republican primary. Donalds, endorsed by Donald Trump at the start of his campaign, easily defeating Jay Collins, the Republican lieutenant governor. The surprise of the night, though, on the Senate side, not here, where NBC News projects that Ashley Moody, the appointed incumbent, will easily win the Republican primary. It's right here. NBC News projects that Angie Nixon has defeated Alexander Vindman in the Democratic primary for the United States Senate in Florida. This one is a monster of an upset. Vindman raised
Yeah, this is actually huge. I'm glad they're finally calling this race. This is one of the big wins of the night that we can walk away with here. It's Angie's win. It's been called. I mean, that's fantastic. Huge upset, like Kornacki was about to say. Alex Vindman raised a fuck ton of money. Fuck ton of corporate PAC money going to Vindman. And he couldn't take it down against Angie, who's got way better policies and vision for America. Vindman was just a status quo. Return us back to normalcy. Normalcy was fucking all of us. So I'm glad this guy's gone. But damn, in my mind, Angie had it in the bag already. So like maybe this is just on me for being overly optimistic. But like I was like, Angie's got this on lock. It's the other races in the House that we got to worry about. And I mean, honestly, it sounds like I was, not that I'm saying it out loud, I think I was right. I think I was right about that. And that's what sucks, is because, I mean, I knew that we would get this one. I knew we would do it. Angie was a great candidate, you know, with a good track record, good policies, and all these other things that I knew would take her to victory. But I knew that on some of our most favorite candidates in the House, it was going to be something of a toss-up. But it sucks, because the fact is Oliver Larkin, for instance, who lost his race against incumbent Moskowitz, he was polling way better against the Republican than Moskowitz was. So now we got somebody who's going to struggle to defeat Republicans now, going into the general in Jared Moskowitz. I mean, but, oh, God. 12,000 more votes for Jared. 12,000 more for Jared. 20,000 more for Debbie. Granted, they've both been holding seats in Florida, so they'll probably still win their races in the general. They have no vision. In fact, they just want everything to stay the same, so they can keep on living the dream, just sucking up PAC money and chortling.
Ton of money came into this with a ton of national name recognition, national support in this race, and the hope of Democrats that he could make this, we're going to do news now here in a second, that he could make this a fight, put Florida on the map nationally. Instead, Angie Nixon from the left has defeated him handily.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean, you piece of shit? Oh, that Angie can't put Florida on the map nationally, Kornacki? Did you just hear that? Can we hear that again? Did Kornacki literally just say that Angie Nixon is incapable of putting this race on the map nationally? Why? I can't wait to hear what his reasoning for that is. I gotta hear that one more time, you piece of shit.
Support in this race, and the hope of Democrats that he could make this, we're going to do news now here in a second, that he could make this a fight, put Florida on the map nationally. Instead, Angie Nixon from the left.
You saying that she can't make this a national fight, even though she just got 120,000 more votes than this piece of shit? Can you hear yourself? He can't take that. Angie can't take. She just beat the guy that you're saying was the one who could take it national, and you're like, oh, but now a leftist Angie Nixon won, and now it can't go national. Excuse me? Explain yourself, you pile of dog shit.
Defeated him handily in this primary. I'm about to do the news now hit. So, folks, I'm here in the news now, and I'm just going to show you some results while we do this. But we're going to do news now here in a second.
Like, can anybody explain to me why
let's bring in
Angie Nixon can't make this national? I mean, I don't want to go to identity politics, but why is it that Alex Vindman can take this national while Angie Nixon somehow cannot? I wonder why. Why is that? Why can't she take it national?
Kornacki to walk us through the results that we've got so far. Steve, all kinds of primaries being called right now. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, look, the votes came in real fast and a lot of clarity in Florida. Here's the surprise of the hour. It is in the race for the United States Senate, the Democratic primary here. Angie Dixon, an under...
You can't even say her name right!
...legislator, has defeated...
This is what I'm fucking talking about, dude. This is why I get so mad at Steve. This is his only job. This is his only job. He just called Angie, who just won the race, Angie Dixon. One more time.
Here, Angie Dixon and...
Who?
In the race for the United States Senate, the Democratic primary here, Angie Dixon and...
Who? What? He's looked once again. The name is right in front of his face, and he can't even get it right. It just blows my mind. It blows my mind. It's 5 letters. He can't even get that right. It's incredible. Angie Dixon. Great job, Angie Dixon. Mrs. Dixon. Great job. I mean, what the fuck? How? How, dude?
Underfunded state legislator has defeated handily Alexander Vindman. Vindman, this is a name I think folks might remember. He was the whistleblower at the heart of the 2019 impeachment of Donald Trump. He came into this with a ton of national support, a ton of national money. There had been some concerns from Democratic leaders that maybe he was a bit complacent as a candidate. Wow, that proved to be true. He's been upset by Angie Nixon, who came at him from the left, who joined the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, during this campaign, who wins this primary. Now, Nixon in the general election is going to face off against Ashley Moody. Moody is the appointed incumbent senator right now. When Marco Rubio left to join the administration, Moody was appointed to replace him. She's now running for the seat on her own. She easily wins the Republican primary. This is not a race. This U.S. Senate race in Florida was not considered, looking ahead to November, a top-tier race.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's not a top-tier race. It's going to be tough for any Democratic candidate to win here in Florida. I mean, look at the numbers. All right, look at the fucking numbers. You have 1.3 million votes in the Republican primary in Florida. In just these 3 candidates alone, you have over 1.3 million. Whereas the Democratic primary, you had 1.1 million so far. It's gonna be difficult. But then, of course, you have to remember that there's the independents who aren't voting in this race. I think I'm aware of, and so we got some number of votes that are going to be outstanding. I still think Angie can absolutely take this down. I mean, you add up the votes. I still think that it's going to be possible, no matter how pessimistic these dickbags are about leftists winning in general elections.
Right. So Chalifo leading Green is beating him by about 15 points, at least overall. You know, that might, if that were to hold, he might knock 150. You know, the key is Butler. Butler's losing to Green here. Yeah. Butler's not even, rewind the 966, the last update of 300 votes. You said, how did it break?
It was 200 votes, and Green won it.
Green won the.
Oh my God, I'm so sick of these guys over here. So sick of these fucking guys. All right. Still looking at these results. Robert People, galactically recommended candidate in Florida's 15th, has been declared the winner. Okay, we've got one more W in here. I'll take it. Wherever we can find them in Florida. They seem to be somewhat far between right now. But there's one W. 97% of the vote in. Robert People taking it down 7 points. He's actually a fairly good candidate. Policy set was really good. So that's quite exciting. Now, District 7, Alan Spence, I'm sorry, 7. District 17, Alan Spence, unfortunately, did not win his race. Montavon being declared the winner here. Still no one declared yet in District 19, but Howard Sapp is trailing even more now by 4.5 points. Oliver Gilbert back in the lead, District 24, up by 1,200 points. I mean, 1,200 votes, not 1,200 points. So that is still a race that could be won here for sure. Still waiting on more votes in the 2nd district, although I don't think 3rd district is going to be a possibility. District 4 just... Oh, wait, we already talked about District 4. Anyway, I'm going to keep trying to keep you all up to date. We've got one more W. Oh, District 6 just got called. Ronnie Murchison Rivera has lost his race there. Oh, God. Florida's not... Florida is not a complete loss, but let's just say that we could have had more. Although, as I'm thinking about this right now, you know, only a couple of these candidates that we're talking about in the 28 House races or House seats, only a couple of them really got any media attention. Oliver Larkin was the biggest one, and that didn't get him across the finish line. I'm just thinking about all these candidates right now that, you know, Yen Bailey, Troy Albers, Brittany Robinson, Alex Hazen, Ronnie Murchison Rivera, Marialana Kinter, Dan Williams, Darren McCauley, Brant Robinson, Robert People, Kelly Kirshner, although those two just won. Alan Spence, Howard Sapp, Bernard Taylor. I mean, none of these names are even close to being household names, certainly not nationally. But even on a local level, we weren't seeing a whole lot of, if any, you know, media appearances from those people. Unfortunately, a couple got in there for like one. But unfortunately, I think some of this has to be with the fact, due to the fact that people are tuned out, big time tuned out, and just sort of went in and voted. You know, like Democratic primary voters just went in and voted the, you know, incumbents mostly, without much thought. Which, to be fair, I mean, if you're in a state like Florida, I can see people being rather disenfranchised and uninterested in politics. You can imagine being a Democrat in that state. Probably a frustrating experience. Okay, I guess we'll go back to Kornacki for a second. I'm trying to tabulate results over here. A lot of stuff is coming in right now.
We knew it was coming, folks. We took you through the math. The story here for Scott Singer, age for a race we will spend an awful lot of time talking about this fall, I think. It'll be Singer versus Moskowitz, one of the 4 districts that Democrats, represented by Democrats, transformed by the DeSantis-led mid-decade redistricting. Republicans hoping to turn those 4 Democratic districts into Republican seats, hoping it can affect the math that would give them a chance at maintaining House control nationally. Of the 4 districts that Republicans are targeting in Florida, this is the one Democrats, I think, have are the most hopeful about retaining. Moskowitz.
Yeah, and this is honestly the huge problem with the thinking, the establishment thinking that goes into these races. right? There's like, oh, there's only 4 seats the Democrats are concerned about. Democrats should be trying to win every fucking seat, and they're not. And that's what's so fucking disgusting about all this, right? Like, is that these guys aren't even putting that much effort in it. They're just way overpowered, right? They just, even though the Democratic Party is underwater financially, they still have more money and resources than most of these than all these candidates combined. All these leftist candidates combined running in Florida don't have the resources of the Democratic Party, or the corporate backing, or all these other sorts of things. And yet they only focus on 4 races. They only focus on 4 races. They're like only really concerned about actually trying to win 4 races. Like, they'll do everything to shut down leftist progressive movements in races that they have no interest in winning in the general, right? Like they'll put candidates into the races to shut down leftist candidates in these primaries, and then they will completely ignore those candidates when the general comes along and just expect them to lose. And that's the problem, right? That's one of the big problems. These people have just thrown their hands up in all of these districts across the country because they've given up on having policies. They've given up on having policies and a vision for the future for all America, and they're just like, only part of America counts. Only part of it matters. You know, that is honestly exactly the problem with our politics right now. Grosses me out so much.
An incumbent in a district that at only 9 points, it's the closest of them. The 4 districts that were redrawn under the new lines went for Trump by anywhere from 9 to 17 points. This is the 9. So this is the closest of the 4. And as I said, if you rolled it back to 2020, it was a Biden district. So the hope from Democrats, again, is that those 24 numbers prove to be a little bit of a one-off in terms of the extent, the scale of the Trump success in the state, and that Moskowitz is the kind of candidate positioned more as a sort of a centrist.
He's not positioned as a centrist. He's a Republican. Jared Moskowitz is a Republican. I don't care what Kornacki is saying. Jared Moskowitz is Ron DeSantis. He's Ron DeSantis' little lackey. He's literally said that. I, Jared Moskowitz, am Ron DeSantis' little lackey. I am a Ron DeSantis Democrat. All right, he hasn't literally said the first part of that, but he might as well have. It's the same thing. He's literally called himself a Ron DeSantis Democrat. He prides himself on being a Republican Democrat. Go fuck that piece of shit. And go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, Jared. Go fuck yourself, you piece of shit.
Where he could shave, where Butler could take another 600 off if he got it down to 600.
Somebody just sent Jules. Who's that? Miss T-Wash. Thank you for the jewels on YouTube. Much appreciated. Okay, you need to settle down. You gotta think about your... I'm deleting this message. You gotta think about your chatting there, Tony. You gotta think about the words you say in the chat. You gotta settle it down. Okay? That's not wanted.
2 Jones over Gilbert.
Right, in the second?
Was 38-31 Jones over Gilbert.
Okay. Well, I mean, we know they report out their early vote first. That's the state law. So, you know, again, if there's one where, 9 to 7, it's not a huge difference to say it's going to change. So how many votes do we think are left in Broward?
3,000.
Okay, if Jones wins the remaining votes there by 10 points, you know, which is what he's leading the overall count by, he knocks that down to a...
They're so in the bag for the fucking... for the corporate candidates. He's like begging that Chevron Jones gets more votes than Oliver Gilbert right now. I am so sick of these centrist garbage from these people.
Okay.
Yeah, Gilbert.
He's like sitting here praying and hoping, oh, please, let the centrist Democrat win. Not the guy with actual policy proposals. We wouldn't want this country to get better. Wouldn't want that. Let's pray and hope that the piece of shit wins. Let's hope the garbage candidate wins, says Kornacki. Thanks, Kornacki. Great job, buddy. Great job. God, I fucking hate these guys. How's everybody been holding up? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I thought this would happen at some point. All right, Oliver Larkin has made a speech over here at the campaign, whatever you want to call it, the watch party. Fuck, why are you doing this? Okay, what the fuck is wrong with this video? Oh my god. What in the actual fuck? It went...
We need a Democratic Party.
Oh my fucking god, this is annoying as shit. Stop the nonsense. What in the fuck?
And we sort of had a vision that we needed to go big this cycle no matter what, right? Last cycle was the first cycle.
Why is this video not working? There you go. All right, I just want to hear from Oliver Larkin.
You know, I don't have any prepared remarks, so this is going to be totally off the rip. But the first thing that comes to mind for me is a repetition of actually what I said at the Fight the Oligarchy rally on Friday night, when I said this feels like a win on Tuesday, and all of you being here in this room, the energy in this crowd, the shared beliefs that we have, this is a win on Tuesday. So I'm very, very proud to be here with you today. I did just call Congressman Moskowitz to congratulate him on his renomination and vow that we need to keep the seat blue in November, because we have a clear goal in mind, and that is taking back the House majority from Speaker Mike Johnson and the Republican Party in November, and we have a responsibility to work hard on that. And we also have a responsibility to elect Angie Nixon as our next United States Senator. Angie, 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 Angie. Let's give it up for Angie Nixon.
Okay, hold on. I just want to take a look at a couple of other races. We're getting more and more results in here. Unfortunately, the board is not looking great. We just got results in the governor's race. Dana Foster, the preferred galactic candidate for governor, lost big time against David Jolley. That's an unfortunate one. Over here in the House races, unfortunately, as you can see, things continue to get worse. Florida 19th called. Howard Sapp losing there. Bernard Taylor is still in the race in District 21. But that one is very close. 7% of the vote left. He's 0.8% behind Martin. Gilbert still leading in the 24th. Now by 2.3%, continuing to hold that down. But a bunch of these races are getting called. Florida's third. We already knew this one was probably not going to happen based upon what we had seen. The 7th also called. Marielana Kinter, sadly not winning there either. Second place from Marielana. This is basically almost all the results from Florida. It's unfortunate. Darren McCauley also losing by 5 points to Overman in the 12th. He was one of the ones that had a shot here that we were watching. I'm sorry, this is the wrong color. What am I doing? Brant Robinson also losing by quite a lot in District 13, second place, but 40 points back. Not great. Not great, I'm afraid. Just a few wins here in Florida. We're still waiting on the 21st, the 24th, 27th. Oh, no, I take it back. 27th has been called. Peguero also losing here. So it's 24th, 21st, 13th, and the 2nd district. How many is that? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, we got 4 races left in Florida right now that haven't yet been called. This is the wrong freaking color. Not a lot of wins here, people. Robert People, Kelly Kirshner, and Angie Nixon. Few holdouts here, but I was hoping for big wins here in Florida. To some degree, I was hoping the Democratic Party would not be putting in a whole bunch of spoiler candidates against leftists that they are not going to support in the general, but they did it. They did it a bunch of times, apparently, here in Florida. Just out of spite, I guess.
Labored until ungodly hours. I walked in tonight and I told them, I said, I think it's going to go, I think Florida's going to go fast tonight. And guys, finally I delivered. I was not.
Oh my God. You hear this guy right now?
All we're going to do right now is see if we get some.
What the fuck else does Kornacki have to do? I mean, like, it's crazy, dude. Like, it kind of blows my mind. This is his only job. His only job, standing here in sneakers, in khakis. You know, he's not even in a suit. You know, he's got a wrinkled dress shirt and a tie he looks like he picked up off the floor. And he's like, yes, we get the end early tonight. It's only 8:30. Oh, I can go back and have tea in my loft, my gilded loft.
Some clarity in these Florida races, but
yeah,
I think otherwise.
The decision desk is kind of doing a little, look around for these outstanding races that we're tracking. But I think, we can also do, one big wrap up at the end of the night to feed some of the other programming around around the network here. But that's the business.
I just find it weird that he's like celebrating ending the show early right now when he's got nothing else to do after this. Like, what? Seriously, what does Kornacki's life look like when he's done with this? I mean, I just wonder to myself. Like, where does this guy go? He's so excited to get out of the studio right now. It's like, dude, first off, there's 2 more elections happening tonight. It's like, Florida's already done, baby. I can go. We can call it. Call it. Let's get out of here. He's so stoked on that. Ay, ay, ay. All right, let's see. Now, what I was thinking of doing tonight is, and I don't know, I got to do a little bit of organizing over here. So I guess what I'll do is I'll organize up a little bit. And I think what we'll do is we will watch a few clips, hold out a little longer here, wait for more results in Florida. And then in I think about 30 minutes, there'll be results starting to come in Wyoming. As for Alaska, I'm trying to think. It's at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's, God, 8:30 right now, so it's like 4.5 hours. I don't know if I have enough. One problem is I don't know if I have enough content to keep us going for 4.5 hours until Alaska right now. I was kind of expecting Florida to take a little longer than this with so many districts. So many races. Clearly I was misguided on that on that belief going into this. That's on me. But just a reminder to anybody who's forgotten, Galactic News Network is completely funded by individuals like you, and without your support we would cease to exist. We still have a freaking gigantic galactic deficit to solve. So what we really need is people to donate on Cash App, PayPal, or take the plunge on becoming Galactic members on Patreon, as we see that money immediately, if not sooner, unlike donations on YouTube and Twitch. Otherwise, I mean, I'm pretty fucked. In less than 2 weeks now, we gotta raise $750 between now and then just to be able to pay the rent, let alone anything else at this point. It's real bad. It's real bad. So, if you got a couple extra bones, please consider sending it. Please consider sending it our way here, Galactic News Network. Graham, totally forgotten after Lindsey Graham, yeah. Yep. But, switch over to a couple of things here. Spend a little bit more time just sort of hanging out, waiting for more election results, talking about the elections themselves, and of course the midterms are right around the corner. I was really hoping to end the primaries with a big win, because that's kind of what this is. Of course, we do have Massachusetts in a couple weeks, first week of September. New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Delaware, but that's 10 House races as it. The 400 and whatever, 35, however many seats there are right now in the House. Only 10 races left. Slightly less than that, actually, I think. 9? Something like that. So, you know, primaries, I gotta say, I was hoping, like I said, to end on a high note tonight here. Because primary season is basically at a conclusion, something we've been focused on for months and months. I know you've all been engaged. Oh, some of you are volunteers working with different election groups and whatever else. But, you know, all of your efforts are, of course, been much needed to get us across all the finish lines that we've crossed this year on all these different races. So I appreciate that, but it is now midterm time. It's time for us to start switching focuses on max left candidates in individual races, and now it's blue no matter who. I would have been more excited if that didn't include people like Debbie Wasserman Schultz or Jared Moskowitz. Just really hoping those two would be out of the picture. End of tonight. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, unfortunately. Sasha G, thank you for the gifted memberships. Really appreciate that. Angelo Joe Shakespeare. Haven't seen Shakespeare in a while. Wonder how they are. Morbid Oslo. Ethereal Epoch. Oh, Ethereal Epoch. And Ben Longstreth, all receiving a sweet galactic membership from Sasha. Thank you, Sasha. You're incredibly generous. All right, let's do this. Let's talk about the majority port. I'm sorry, what? My brain just broke. Let's talk about the role Justice Democrats have been on. Usama Andrabi on the majority report. Here's the clip.
Sam Cedar on the majority report. Emma Vigeland out today. Joining me now, Usama Andrabi, communications director, spokesperson for Justice Democrats. Usama, it's been quite a primary season. It's still ongoing, but this primary season has been about as dramatic as we've seen, I think, in a while. And it is we have an insurgency, and it's coming in the form, in some instances, as from DSA members, and it's coming in the form of progressives who may share a lot of same issue set. At least there's a significant sort of crossover in the Venn diagram, and you guys have been playing in these primaries, as it were, extensively. Give us a sense of where we're at.
Yeah, this is our most successful cycle to date. We are on track to send 7 new progressive leftist members to Congress in Washington, which is the most we've ever sent in one cycle. The first cycle was our biggest, which is when we had the initial squad kind of go to Congress, and now we're nearly doubling it with the opportunity to send as many as 10 with 2 top 2s in California and Justin J. Pearson's election now being a general in November. And so I think it shows a really clear sign that Democratic voters are ready to move on from a corporate establishment that's failed them time and time again, decade after decade, and finally lead with candidates who have a real positive and affirmative vision for how to tackle working class communities' most important crises, like the affordability, be it through Medicare for All or ending taxpayer funding for a genocide. And I don't think this work happens overnight. I think a lot of folks want to look at this as some sort of aberration of a cycle, but it's taken cycles of work to get to this. It's taken some pretty terrible losses. We're coming out of our worst cycle to date, losing 2 incumbent members of Congress. But I think the work that we did in the off season, it feels like in general, the Democratic Party suffered pretty bad losses across the board in 2024. And it feels.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, my calculus on this is slightly different than Usama's. I mean, they have a very specific vision and sort of process in which they go through all these things. But I mean, if you look through here, in my opinion, it's well over 10 in terms of people who are to the left of center, left of the current Democratic Party. I mean, we've had so many great candidates win primary races that are now set to win general elections, technically, as Democrats. And so many. I honestly don't have. I've been waiting for the end of primary season to actually count it up and look through these names and figure out how many. It was dozens. There's dozens of green candidates in here. Some of them are mislabeled, but most of them are correct. And it represents big change. Are there some changes I would have liked to see that we didn't get? Yes. Everyone knows it. Everyone's saying it. But this is still a great list of people that are heading to the general right now that we now have to put our support behind against Republicans. A whole different calculus now that has to be made. Right? As I've been saying, this whole primary election season is right now, the calculus is max left. Who is most left? Right? Like, I don't care if you're an incumbent or not. It's about whether or not you've been, have you been getting results for the left? Are you on our side or not? Right? Do you have the most leftist policy prescriptions or not? And that has been the general framework by which I've been doing these things and going through and making these recommendations on these candidates. And what was I just saying? Oh God, there's just so much stuff swimming through my mind right now. What was the point I was trying to make just now? Well, right. The calculus is now completely different. It's no longer left first center. It's now Democrats versus Republicans, essentially. Right? It's about left versus right, mostly. Although you got a couple of people in there I still think are just trash. I mean, Jared Moskowitz is one of the few. It's and honestly, Oliver was much more pragmatic in that concession speech that he just made. He basically came out and said blue no matter who. Which I gotta say, I mean, to some degree, I respect the fact that he's, within minutes, refocusing. Just rough. It's just rough to see him lose that race. Start work Thursday? Oh, nice. You got a new job. Heck yeah.
The left went home and did our homework to understand how to unite our coalitions, how to coalesce around particular candidates, and how to really build movements that people could see themselves in. And it feels like the establishment came back even weaker and talked about an autopsy report for about a year and a half that didn't even come out.
I'm staying in the race. There's two things. I mean, one, it also occurs to me that we're in an interesting place where the money, the major sort of funders that we've seen playing in these elections that took out progressives in the last cycle, essentially, tech bro money in the form of either crypto or AI, and AIPAC money. And now AIPAC's trying to be clever and sending their money to other PACs, whether it's Emily's List or other, more seemingly benign, I think, to your average voter PACs. But the left, if you will, has been very successful in making that money a liability to some extent. And that seems to me to be a huge accomplishment within the context of these primaries. What are your thoughts on, is it just going to be like a sort of type of arms race where they're hiding the money in different ways, or what?
Yeah, I think everything that AIPAC and these lobbies do is a response to our sort of movement strength, and I think just exposes at every step how weak they are and how much they are losing the war of public opinion, right? I think when we first launched coalitions like Reject AIPAC a few cycles ago, and we did polling in these districts, AIPAC was unpopular, but the bigger number was that enough people just didn't know about AIPAC or about the crypto lobby or about the AI lobby. And I think similar to how, it took Occupy Wall Street for us to understand the depths of which Wall Street corrupts our political finances, or the fight for Medicare for all to understand how health insurance lobbies and big pharma truly are keeping our prices high. I think the movement to sort of organize against AIPAC and obviously the genocide that was being live streamed for voters made people wake up to realize, why is it that a majority of us support a ceasefire and an arms embargo, but only a minority of our representatives in Congress do? And they realize that it is this right-wing lobby that is AIPAC. And that's why, after spending $100 million and taking out 2 members of Congress last cycle, thinking that they were really at just the start of their success, I think last cycle was apex. For lack of a better word. And I think it's only gone downhill from them for then. And, nearly every race we have gone up against them this cycle, they've had to hide their spending. And I think that proves just how toxic and unpopular they are within the Democratic Party, that you even have members who can only owe their seat to AIPAC spending, who are now starting this cycle saying, I'm not going to take AIPAC money. I reject AIPAC support. And that shows just how powerful our movement is, even against a lobby that can spend $100 million every cycle.
Talk to me briefly about endorsement strategy. Various entities that endorse, come with either money or raising profiles. In some instances, it's lists of volunteers, et cetera, et cetera. The Justice Democrats' strategy, to the extent that I've known about it over the years, is we're going to start in blue districts so that there's no charge of being a spoiler, and that's also where theoretically your strength is going to be the greatest. And it's
yes, indeed, a lot of efforts have gone into these primary races this year. Although I still think we can do better, obviously. Obviously, I'm very optimistic about our chances if we just do the work. But a ton of effort went into this election season, and we've seen some seriously great results. Angie Nixon winning big today. And lots of other big wins across the board, both in the House and in the Senate. Number of different governors' races. Hopefully we can bring these wins to the general and carry this forward into the future and have this be just the beginning. This is, in my opinion, I think a lot of people weren't even aware until very late of the primary efforts being put in the Democratic Party. Until really the mainstream media picked up and noticed that this was happening. It just took them months to really notice, I would point out, right? Like, we've been talking about this now since, April? It's now August. And it was like a couple of months ago. I feel it was like June, July, where the mainstream really picked up on the fact that there were all these primary races actually happening in the Democratic Party, where incumbents were losing races. But, we did what we can, and hopefully in a couple of years' time, in another midterm, we can have even more incredible results. But this group of people that we've supported in the primaries, the ones who have won, we are, like I've said, talking about dozens of different names with left-of-center policy proposals that hopefully can dig us out of this capitalist hellhole that we've been living in. We got 11 minutes until Wyoming starts posting their elections results. Not a lot of elections happening there. I don't think it's going to take too long to figure, although there could be a few things that go on. But basically, got a lot of what do you call it? A lot of waiting to do tonight in terms of Alaska's results. Alaska won't be reporting until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. And unfortunately, I did not have time after finding a preferred candidate in Alaska's at-large House election to get a new candidate after Matthew Schultz dropped out last week, or like 2 weeks, however long it's been now. Like in between, like somebody pointed this out the other day. But after I posted the clip, Matthew Schultz had already dropped out of the House race, who was the galactically preferred candidate. So I wasn't able to move fast enough and find a new candidate to endorse. And so I honestly have even less to talk about with Alaska tonight than I would have had that not happened. But like I was saying, we're going to have more elections results coming in Wyoming any minute now. So, for a brief second, I guess we'll go here to a more perfect union. Watch a little bit of this. Talk about how Democrats abandoned the working class.
Folks, it's midterm season, and there is one target audience the Democrats are desperately trying to pander to. I'm not talking about Subaru moderates, granola NPR whites, or Cupertino lizard people. I'm talking about the working class.
The working class.
The working class.
In the working class neighborhoods, I represent
regular working class folks.
What has he done for the working class?
So who are the working class? And why are Democrats so thirsty to prove that they are the true party of working class Americans? Now, some terms show up in political discourse gradually, like neoliberalism or polyamory. But working class had a very specific moment it entered the mainstream. 1:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on November 9th, 2016.
Some big news here, Megan. Huge news, actually. Huge. The AP now projecting that Donald Trump has won the state of Pennsylvania.
That is the race, frankly.
It's been almost 10 years since Trump broke through the blue wall, winning Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And liberals suddenly remembered that everyone can vote, and it's not just a Capital One rewards perk. What? For months, the media fanned out across rural America to study working class Trump voters like gorillas in captivity. Or like small business owner want banana? Me, Soledad O'Brien. Me, friend. Reading Hillbilly Elegy became doing the work. That book actually shot back to #1 a week after Trump's inauguration. Liberal guilt made J.D. Vance so famous that depending on how bad Qatari engineering is, this guy might be president soon.
The man and woman who raised me, Mamaw and Papaw, said, we're for Democrats because Democrats are for working people. And I don't think that's true anymore, my friends.
Now, grifter Huckleberry Finn is getting at something very real here. Since 2016, there's been a lot of debate around what the working class even means. But it used to be very simple. Working class people got a paycheck. They had a boss. They were probably in a union, and they almost definitely voted Democrat. Ever since FDR and the New Deal back in the 1930s, workers were a core part of Democrats' identity as a party. In 1935, FDR signed the Wagner Act, which guaranteed workers the right to collective bargaining. Republicans at the time tried to smear it as socialist, but Dems didn't give a fuck. They passed Social Security later that year, and were like, yeah, Social Security, social. We put it right in the name, bro. Come at us. In 1938, Democrats created the minimum wage in the 40-hour work week. And in 1965, they started Medicare. This was a party unafraid to fight on the side of workers and against capital. And it made states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, which were built on manufacturing and agriculture, Democratic strongholds, places that Democrats could count on, maybe even take for granted. I mean, why would Hillary even need to visit Wisconsin? Now, I know what you're thinking. Really? Huston, you're going to relitigate 2016 all over again? I'll be honest with you. I feel like relitigating 2016 is kind of hack as a concept. So what I'm going to do is relitigate the 1990s. What? It was Hillary Clinton's husband, jazz icon Bill Clinton, who pushed Democrats towards more business-friendly practices and away from labor.
Yes, old Bill Clinton, our first black president. Oh, yes, the saxophone playing wonderkind. Oh, the Arkansas. I've run out of nicknames. I've run out of Bill Clinton nicknames, I've just realized. Ah, God damn you, Bill. God damn you, Bill. Why did you betray us, you piece of shit?
Democrats towards more business-friendly practices and away from labor. Bill Clinton's 1992 platform was silent on antitrust and monopoly power, which had been a party plank for Democrats for over 100 years. And the next year, he signed NAFTA, which enshrined into law that investor rights would get priority over labor rights. This was all happening as inequality was getting worse and leaving the working class behind, which was totally understood at the time by the people inside the Clinton administration. In fact, this is Clinton's labor secretary, Robert Reich, speaking in 1994, just a year after NAFTA was signed.
My friends, we are on the way to becoming a two-tiered society.
What now?
Composed of a few winners and a larger group of Americans left behind, whose anger and whose disillusionment is easily manipulated. Today, the targets of that rage are immigrants and welfare mothers and government officials and gays.
It's crazy to me. Like, it had been a while since I'd heard Robert Reich, a vintage clip, but he sounds exactly the same as he did then. Like now, he's like, and I don't mean just in like a voice, like tonality. I mean like he's literally saying the exact same shit he was saying 30 years ago now on his YouTube channel. Former Labor Secretary Robert Reich. One of those consistent voices of sense.
And an ill-defined counterculture. But as the middle class continues to erode, who will be the targets tomorrow?
Don't worry, Rob, it's still the same people. But Clinton didn't just stop at NAFTA. In 1996, he signed the Welfare Reform Act, ending cash assistance for millions of people in poverty, and then bragged about it in campaign ads.
He signed tough welfare reform, work requirements, time limits, forced teenage mothers to stay in school or lose benefits.
Yeah, Bill, I'm sick of these welfare queens not
This is like, honestly, Bill Clinton betrayed basically everyone that Democrats had, like, up to that point claimed to be there for. And it's gross. Like, it really is. And it's true. Bill Clinton absolutely ushered in the era that we have now where Democrats and Republicans had more in common than in difference. This is really where, in my opinion, the uniparty started popping up. After Clinton, that's when things started solidifying. Ah, damn it. I'm getting more results. I'm getting more results on the elections. And it's not good. Not a bit's good. What just happened? What in the fuck? Wait, what just happened? What is going on? I just lost all of my... Why did this happen? I don't understand. I don't understand. Why would you do this to me? I did nothing to you. My entire browser just shut down. It just completely... Every window just closed. All of my browser window. Come on. Why would you do this right now? I was damn you. You follow him on YouTube? I assume that's in Robert Reich reference.
At NAFTA. In 1996, he signed the Welfare Reform Act, ending cash assistance for millions of people in poverty, and then bragged about it in...
Pause. Okay. Gotta check back in with the elections. It's also 9 p.m. What in the fuck? Yo, my browser is acting crazy. Wow. Okay. There we go. Okay. God, I am hot right now. Okay, unfortunately, we're getting more election results. They're not good ones. Yen Bailey officially losing here in District 2. Brand Robinson officially lost District 13. Who else was I just looking at that got pulled in here? Oh, no, okay. No, it was just that one. No, there was a second one. No, was that the one? It was Darren McCauley, I think. Whoever it was, point is, we're down to 2 races now in Florida. Bernard Taylor's and Oliver Gilbert's races in the 21st and 24th. Oliver still leading by 2.5 points, 82% in. Taylor behind by 0.8% with 4.5% left. Oh, these are super close. Shit. This one is the one that closed. That caused this whole thing to break down. All right, let's look at Wyoming. See if any results are coming in here. Polls have closed. What in the shit? I did not ask for this. What are you doing? So this is the House race in Wyoming. Single race. Lisa Kinney, the preferred candidate. No votes have been counted here yet. Senate race. A double asterisk. Galactic candidate James Byrd. Still no results here. And in the governor's race, it's no challenge. So that's already over. Not a lot here to talk about in Wyoming, unfortunately. But those are your latest elections updates. I'll keep trying to watch. Keep you all updated as things transpire.
Campaign ads.
He signed tough welfare reform, work requirements, time limits, force teenage mothers to stay in school or lose benefits.
Yeah, Bill, I'm sick of these welfare queens not finishing The Great Gatsby. Here's what's crazy about that ad. Those aren't even black teenagers.
Yeah, Dark Sage, that's a great point to make. It is funny how a Republican like David Jolly suddenly turned into a Democrat. Yeah, it's interesting how that works, isn't it? So weird. And unfortunately, Jolly was a spoiler for one of our galactically preferred candidates in Florida. It was Dana Foster. Dana Foster was our preferred candidate in Florida, losing to fake Democrat David Jolly. That was a fun one. Yeah, suffice to say, Florida, it could have gone better. We had a few good wins. Angie Nixon winning. Maxwell Frost is going to be going straight to the general. Robert People, Kelly Kirshner, Nicole Loughlin going straight to the general. But then everybody else, it's like a disaster. On the 24 other seats, we're holding off on 2 more, I guess, technically. So 22 other seats. It's been bad. It's been a bad night for Florida. It's the process. The primaries is not just one state. Even though we think about it like that sometimes. You know, it's about the movement more broadly across the country and all the wins we have seen to some degree. Although I too wish that we had some slightly different results in Florida.
Do you know how Republican you have to be to go after white teen moms? Now, once Bill was done handcuffing the working class, he unleashed the investor class, repealing Glass-Steagall and passing the Commodity Futures Modernization Act, which basically turned Wall Street into a giant casino. Now, there's a reason people look back fondly on the 90s. This actually worked for a while. There were budget surpluses, economic growth soared, millions of jobs were created, housing prices went up and up and up. What could possibly go wrong?
Lehman Brothers, a 158-year-old firm, filed for bankruptcy.
The House passes a sprawling $700 billion government rescue of the financial industry.
2.6 million jobs were cut from the economy last year. That's the greatest decline since 1945.
Why weren't we bailed out?
That live grenade of financial deregulation that Bill Clinton left in the economy, it all blew up in 2008, right when I was graduating college. And thanks to the weakened social safety net, further weakened by George Bush, millions of people were pushed into poverty. And by the time Barack Obama came along, things were starting to get a little awkward. Even though anger at Wall Street was spiking, it was still an important source of funding for the Democratic Party. Now, Obama at least gestured towards fighting on behalf of the working class.
But let's be clear who Senator McCain's fighting for. He's not fighting for Joe the plumber. He's fighting for Joe the hedge fund manager.
But on Obama's watch, no bankers went to jail and inequality kept skyrocketing as union membership continued to fall. And when all that hope he sold didn't come through, it curdled into cynicism. Working class people kept going into the voting booths, pulling the lever, and nothing changed. In fact, a 2014 study of policy outcomes over 20 years found that economic elites have substantial independent impacts on US government policy, while average citizens have little or no independent influence. It was basically...
Yes, indeed. Fortunately, the interests of capital have been served over and over and over and over again. Much of this is a result of the corporate capture you allowed since the 90s, since Clinton, going straight through the old 2000s, has brought us to the world that we know now, where the things that we want are unimportant, while the things that corporations and special interest groups want are top of the list for our government. It's very frustrating, I think, for most of us. You predict all the Democrats running in Florida were at one point Republicans? I mean, I don't know about all. I mean, the primaries or the ones that have won the primaries? Because I would say no to that particular point. Like, I don't think Elijah Manley was a Republican. Like, I could be wrong, I guess, but I don't know. He just doesn't give me those vibes that as an adult he was ever a self-described Republican. But I'm not sure what you're referring to right now. Yeah. All right. Let's do a little bit more here while we wait for Wyoming elections results. Yeah, let's watch a little tiny bit of this. Why not? A little sit-down conversation that I think a lot of us have been waiting for. Little snippets, little teasers have been sent our way.
I actually have a bone to pick with you. Please.
On the YouTube, on the social media. These little hints that a longer format video was coming. I am, of course, talking about the sit-down interview with Sam Cedar and... oh my god, my brain just broke. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, too many Hassans. My brain just fucking broke for a second. I wanted to call Mehdi Hassan Minaj, and I know that was wrong. Mehdi Hassan, Sam Cedar, Zateo, sit down. Discussion finally live on the YouTubes. I guess we'll watch a little bit of this while we wait for elections results. Seems reasonable. Certainly a compelling conversation had here between two greats, two of the greatest in left media.
I actually have a bone to pick with you. Please. Just over a year ago, I called you.
I'm so sorry.
You did Jubilee.
The response I got from, civilians was like, I didn't realize it was this bad.
These are young Gen Zers in a studio in LA. That's MAGA right now. What do you say to this common line now? This is the
Mehdi
Democrats'
Parker.
Tea Party. And remember, the Republicans' Tea Party didn't work
Exactly.
out so well for the Republicans.
Exactly. Mehdi Parker.
Hassan Parker.
Ah.
Trump came down the escalator and they're watching and they're laughing at this. And I'm like, this guy's going to win the primary.
Meanwhile, the Hillary Clinton campaign was saying, this is the best guy we could face off against.
There's a very difficult
How did that
needle
go?
that the establishment is trying to thread now.
They went there to try and persuade Tucker to run for president.
I would love it. That would be great.
Split the
It
Republican
would
vote.
split the Republican
Come
vote.
on,
You
Bernard.
don't think it would take a lot of lefties with him? Were you Pat Buchanan's Jewish cover?
I think I was his beard, and I had some real misgivings over it. At that time, there was no one who...
Oh, God. Sam Cedar, Pat Buchanan's Jewish beard. Oh, good God. That was a crazy sentence. Okay. I'm going to skip past the intro here. Get into the meat of this discussion.
Day over 57.
Oh, well, thank you. I will take that, and I will bank it. Yes.
Mid-50s.
I appreciate
I
that.
say that's someone in late 40s.
I will. I will tell
I'm not
my.
far behind you.
I will tell my children who,
not far behind you.
who
We're both
make an
friends.
argument as to how old I am.
It is great to have you on the show. I've been on your show many times.
Yes.
I believe this is your first time on our show.
It is, and
I think you're the oldest guest we've ever had on
there you go. Yeah, listen, we gotta
Jesus
wrap it.
Christ. This is making me feel old as well, even though I'm not nearly as old as Sam or Mehdi. Like, I've been watching Sam for so long. I remember when he had no gray hair. like it's making me feel, because I've watched him age over the years. Oh, it's making me feel old. It's making me feel a little old. Not gonna lie.
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
Quick before things
bedtime.
happen to me.
Before bedtime.
Exactly.
Before early bird special.
No, I'm very happy to be here. I've been very, very impressed with what you've built in such a short period of time. It really is amazing.
And I've said this before, so let's just get the mutual affection out of the way. That, and let me say it on my show, I've said it on your show, you and Majority Report have been inspiration for us, because you guys were doing it long before us, because you're old. You've been doing it for a while, and
It's so true. And I must say, I do take some amount of inspiration from Sam, but not because he's old, just because of how great of a job he does.
definitely you opened doors that some of us have followed through in the independent progressive media space. So, as I say, very exciting to have you on the show. I don't know why we didn't have you on before. Have you just come from Majority Report?
I have, yeah.
Nice commitment.
We
You're not
do
tired?
it.
Who was the creator of the Bill Clinton video? Really? That was Hassan Minaj. It was a collab, actually. We didn't watch much of it just because I'm actually kind of wanting to do a real stream discussing it. So, like, today I wasn't sure how this would all go. We had 3 different elections to talk about. I wasn't sure how long it would take for Florida's results to come in. They've come in much faster than I thought. But I was kind of planning on doing a full breakdown on that. But that's actually a more perfect union Hassan Minaj collab. Although I think it's on More Perfect Union's channel. I don't know. I don't know if you can find it on Hassan's channel. But yeah, that's who made that previous video, if you were wondering.
I'm exhausted.
You do about 3 hours live?
Yeah, we do. Today I did a little bit short. We did about 2.5. The show started out when I launched this iteration. You know, the show originally came from Air America, which was radio, and we would do 3 hours. The podcast started out, I think, when I started it in 2010, it was 45 minutes for the free show, and then 45 minutes for what we now call the fun half. It rarely is fun, based upon the news these days. And there was mission creep, and now it's like 2.5 hours. And then usually my producers are like, dude, we got to go. Just like literally they want to leave.
Not to make you feel any older, but we found a clip of your first publicly available video that we could find on Majority Report's YouTube page.
Oh, geez.
Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Sam Cedar, and I left my computer's power cord at home. This week's bullshit emanates from the mouths of Republican lawmakers and conservative shills from across the country. Namely, they're trying to scare you into thinking that America is turning into Greece, the country, not the musical. You know, with Travolta and the greasy hair and the cars, and not that one. And they're trying to scare you so they can pursue their anti-government conservative agenda. Come on.
That was my That's Bullshit series, actually, I think, which...
Can I be blunt?
Yeah.
You know, I think we watched a clip of that show. In fact, we may have watched that exact clip, I think, when we were doing our deep dive into where Sam Cedar is last month, when he had disappeared for weeks. I'm pretty sure we or at least I watched that one. Sam has been on here for like decades at this point. A few years is going to be his 20-year YouTube anniversary, and it's kind of crazy.
Looked young.
I mean, you looked young, but that looked a little bullshitty. Why is the camera shaking? It's 2010. It's not 1937.
I was holding the camera.
Couldn't afford a producer, cameraman.
No, that was
you?
just me doing That's Bullshit. I think I put out like 10 of those. That was like the interregnum between my Air America stint and launching the podcast.
I wonder, are you nostalgic for that time? Because put aside the fact that you look much younger, and put aside the fact that that was really badly shot. The content is entertaining because you say stuff like Greece and debt. I'm like, what? Oh, he's talking about Tea Party. And it just feels like a much more innocent time.
I mean,
where the debates in this country are about like budget levels.
Yeah, well, there was still that.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The Greek debt crisis, Tea Party era. It is, honestly, it was so long ago now. But it is crazy to think about that time. It was genuinely a different time. Things in America were a lot different in 2010 than they are now here in 2026. To think about all the changes that have happened in our country since then is pretty wild. I mean, damn, Obama was only in there for 2 years at that point. I mean, a lot of us still were riding on hope. Thinking that maybe we get some real change and stuff like that. I remember. Good God. And of course, the Tea Partiers were losing their frickin' minds at that point over death panels and all these other sorts of frickin' things.
A pretense, I guess.
Yes,
I mean,
there was still the racism about Barack Hussein Obama. But,
sure.
you know, they pretended to care about things like constitutional principles and budget deficits.
But it was clear they didn't care at that time. It just, the big difference at that time was that the mainstream media was fully on board with it. And not just, you know, like, I mean, you had people, I mean, I remember like sort of famously like Ezra Klein and some of those who were talking about Paul Ryan being an intellectual, and it was all a pretense.
The Young Guns book. Do you remember that with Paul Ryan and Kevin McCarthy and Cantor?
Who
lost the Tea Party.
The intellectuals. Yes. The intellectuals. The intellectual racists like Paul Ryan. Oh, yes. What an innocent time.
And they were seen as intellectual. They all bowed the knee to Trump
100%.
at one point or another. McCarthy, of course,
100%.
even after accusing him of insurrection. I take your point, but it just feels like such a more innocent time compared to where we are today in 2026 with this second-term Trump. And not just a second-term Trump. I do want to talk to you about just the people we have to deal with now, you and I, as progressives. I actually have a bone to pick with you.
Please pick away.
Well, it's already a bone. It's just a complaint.
Oh, I hear
A
them
friendly
very
complaint.
often. Yes.
A few months ago, just over a year ago, I called you.
I'm so sorry. I'm
I said,
so
Sam,
sorry.
I said, Sam,
I know what
you
you're gonna
did
say.
you did Jubilee, and it was really entertaining, and you did a good job, and you did, and it went viral. I was like, they want me to do Jubilee, and I thought I would call you because you're the only person I know who's done Jubilee, as a progressive in particular. And you said you should do it. It'll be great. And they're not all crazy.
It was great.
It was great for viewers.
Yeah.
For me, it was a very painful experience. My Jubilee experience. I've discussed this many times about the pros and cons. We could talk about it now because it's like we're in a small club.
Yeah.
I don't want to make the Jubilee people feel too special about themselves. But there's not that many people who've done this
No.
shit. I've never done anything crazier than that.
Honestly, their description of the Jubilee thing is quite interesting. I mean, as everyone here I think knows mostly, like, I don't have much respect for Jubilee either. I don't think they deserve a lot of respect. I think they're a bunch of opportunists who use politics to enrich themselves financially, don't actually care about, making America better or the actual substance of the debates or really anything, from what I can tell. If anything, they're right-wing propagandists, if I'm being super ungenerous. But if I'm being generous, they just don't care, right? Like, they just care about money. Although I do think they actually have a political opinion over at Jubilee that is right of center. I believe they're owned by, like the LDS, like the Latter-day Saints Church, right? Like, or at least there's, like, some big LDS guy who's, like, deeply involved in all of this. Like, I have a lot of problems with Jubilee, as we've talked about in the past. Not just the stuff I've mentioned already, but, like, the fact that they copyright strike, copyright claim all of their shit that is literally intended to be talked about. It is literally the discourse, and then they try and gatekeep it. They try and prevent anybody from talking about their discussions, and it's insane. It's like the opposite of what YouTube should be about. Is like, people who are doing this kind of content should not be going after each other for talking about their content. That's literally the only reason any of this stuff is allowed to exist, basically. And it's just crazy that they act like these, like, petulant children when anybody looks at their fucking videos and lose their mind and go, oh my God, this is ours. You can't look at it. You can't talk about the discourse. How dare you talk about the discourse? How dare you discuss the discourse? That's very rude.
How rude.
In my journalistic career, have you?
No, that was pretty nuts. I mean, I remember covering for when I was the last Air America show I did was Break Room Live with Mark Maron, and I went down not far from our studio to interview people who were protesting Letterman. Okay. Tea Party people who were protesting Letterman. And that got pretty crazy. They were convinced that I was using Saul Alinsky techniques on them by asking them, like, what are you doing out here? That's exactly what Saul Alinsky would ask. And that seemed pretty crazy. But this was the most sort of concentrated level of craziness that
Because people don't realize, again, you and I know this, you go to this weird warehouse in East LA. It's boiling hot. I don't know if it happened with you. It was like they had fans on. You walk in pretty much straight away. There's no, like, pleasantries, makeup. It's not like normal TV stuff. And then you're surrounded by these 20 nut jobs. And it's straight. It's like, go.
Yes.
And it's 2.5 hours with one toilet break.
Yes. It was pretty intense. I mean, I do remember, like, going into the warehouse thinking, like, there's a greater than 0% chance that I'm just going to get mugged here.
I took security.
Like, this isn't like a real...
I took
it's a very odd looking place.
Yes.
And you...
Sam thought he was going to get mugged at Jubilee. It's funny as fuck to think about. I don't know why that amuses me so much. All right. We got news, Space Fams, and it's good news. Oh, yeah. Another galactic win in Florida's 24th district. Oliver Gilbert taking it down by 2.5%. Yes, one more little win. We are still waiting on the 3.1% of the vote, supposedly. In District 21, Bernard Taylor, the galactically endorsed candidate, trails by 364 votes. 364 votes, 0.8% right now in District 21. This is basically the last election in Florida that we are watching. This is literally the last election in Florida that we are watching right now. But no results there yet. As to Wyoming, they're like taking their sweet ass time in Wyoming to count the votes right now. 0% counted in the House. And same thing for the Senate. So when we get the results there, I'll let you know. But I'm still watching Florida like a hawk. This one last race we got.
Through, like,
it's really weird.
It's a sort of a ramshackle.
Even to get to it, you're
warehouse.
driving this neighborhood. You're like, where am I?
Aw, thank you, B-Cat. Aww. Thank you. I'm glad someone appreciates my blazer sweater combination. You know, I figured it's primary season and elections are coming up. Is Hassan's going suit style? I gotta keep up at least a little bit, you know, with the fancy. So election nights, I gotta break this out. And plus, it is getting cooler. You know, winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
So, you know, gotta prepare myself for that as well. Although it's really not cool at all tonight. I'm quite warm.
Small little parking lot, and then you got like 20 white supremacists waiting for you in a circle.
It was a very odd experience.
Let's play it. Let's play some of it. Let's remind you of the moment, your moment that went viral. Well, many did, but this was the most viral.
We're talking about government agencies that do not get tax cuts. Government.
Yeah, this kid was an extra special kind of stupid who tried to debate Sam on whether or not government agencies paid taxes. Maybe one of the most misguided Jubilee guests. I don't know. Actually, that's really hard to say. That's not true. He's just among the very large population of misguided Jubilee participants.
Anyway. Okay, so we can agree on that.
That face of yours, of course, became an immediate meme. That guy, first of all, if you watch enough Jubilees, you recognize
you see
the
him
folks.
all the time.
I think he was in mine too.
Yeah.
But he didn't speak in mine. He sat. I don't think he ever came forward. And they changed their hairstyles a bit. It's like there, it's tied up. Then I don't know if that's on purpose, but you do recognize some of these people. In fact, I got the white supremacist lady who you got.
Who has since had I don't know if you followed her career.
No, I try not to.
You know, she was like a trad wife type of person. And she is no longer, I mean, she had like a little bit of a bump after our Jubilee thing, and then had to eliminate all of her social media because she had an affair with another conservative figure. I can't remember his name.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. I feel so sick. Good God. Sorry, Space Fams. I'm fine. I just haven't eaten still. Since yesterday. Well, since before yesterday. Oh, God, I just have no groceries right now. Like, literally, slowly wasting away over here. God. Not having food in your stomach. Not the best feeling. Physically. Alright, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Second, I thought I was gonna have to leave you all. Okay, no, I'm good. Just a reminder, everyone, one of the reasons why I'm not eating this is because I'm continuing to save every single dollar I can to complete the massive galactic deficit that we have right now. And if you got a couple extra bucks on Cash App, PayPal, or have been considering becoming a Patreon member, now might be the time. Need you more than ever, Space Fams. You're our only hope.
She's no longer on the scene.
She was the one who came along when we talked about Israel in my show and was like, well, it's one religious group that's controlling everything. I was like, this is not the kind of opposition to Israel that I'm in favor of. But it's so funny to see that guy who's familiar say that stuff. And then you have to respond. And I watched that and I thought, all right, there's a couple of crazies with Sam.
Yeah.
As you pointed out, when I then turn up, there's all crazies. There's maybe
all crazies, and they sort of like they took an element of the crazy, I think, that showed up on mine and decided like, hey, what happens if we were to ramp this up and make 20 of these people? And that's what it seemed like you did.
Well, it got very dark very quick. I think we can play a clip from mine that was people remember. Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't actually say that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that.
They persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. These people are insane. These people are fucking insane. And they represent the Republican Party. Nazis are the ones who represent the Republican Party now. It's not just this guy. Greg Gutfeld, one of the most popular right-wing pundits on mainstream cable news, literally said the exact same thing. We gotta reclaim the word Nazi. It's been demonized too much. You know? What up, my Nazi? Like, that was literally Greg Gutfeld. Go find it if you don't believe me. I mean, this is the Republican Party now. It's just Nazis. Just Nazis.
What am I doing here?
I mean,
did you ever feel like walking out during yours?
There was a couple of moments when that woman who said, like, what's wrong with xenophobia, and the other theocrat, where I was like, wow, this is sort of outside the scope of what we were talking about. But I don't know. I think the value of that was to show people. I mean, you know. I mean, you engage in a lot of debates, and a lot of time you realize, like, this isn't necessarily about changing this person's mind. This is about
showing a third party,
illustrating, what's going on to the audience. And this was early in the Trump administration. Like, I think I recorded mine literally a week or so after the inauguration, and I think there was a real misunderstanding of like what we were dealing with. And I think to a certain extent, the response I got from, civilians was like, I didn't realize it was this bad.
Yeah. And like, we watched part of this clip the other day when Zateo was giving us these little hints that this was coming. Like I agree with that sentiment, that it is important for people to see just how far gone the Republican Party is and the people who are supporting it, right? Because that's what those people represent over at Jubilee to some degree, right? They're the people who support the opposite of what Sam and Hassan support. That's the whole point of Jubilee, right? These are the people defending the Republican primary policies, the president, right? Like, those are the people that represent that ideology, and they're literal Nazis. People who think that the only problem with with Nazi Germany was the persecution of the Catholic Church. I mean, wow. Way to miss the entire forest for a single tree.
The response I got from, civilians was like, I didn't realize it was this bad.
Yes.
And so I think there's value in that. It's a little bit painful because you're having to absorb stuff. Like,
friends of mine keep saying, "Oh no, it was a."
No, Charlie Kirk did not start the Jubilee thing. I see somebody asking about that. Although I will say this, I think to some degree, Charlie Kirk's show format was the reason for Jubilee to become a thing to some degree, right? It was the debate bro vibes of like the teens, right? Like the 20 teens that sort of brought this about. But no, Charlie Kirk, I don't think had anything to do with this. Like I said, like the dude who owns Jubilee, I believe is like a big LDS, like a Mormon LDS, Latter-day Saints guy. I can't remember exactly how he, where he is in the church. But, like, suffice to say, very moneyed LDS individual, I believe, is the person who runs Jubilee. I'm not aware of any Charlie Kirk involvement. Although he may have done, I think he may have done a Surrounded at one point. Honestly, it's hard to remember. Charlie keeps going further and further off into the distant history for me. It's a guy I keep trying to forget, but maybe I shouldn't.
What are you complaining about? I was like, amazing for you. I was wanting to sit there and have people tell me to get out of my country and all that shit, especially as a brown immigrant. What's interesting, what you said about the value of showing people. I agree. That is, when people ask me, would you do it again? And I don't know the answer to that question, but, or do you regret doing it? But certainly the value of it was that, which is people think of racist or MAGA people in this country as like old white men in Alabama.
Right.
And these are young Gen Zers in a studio in LA.
Yeah.
Right. Many of them are local. And you're like, that's MAGA right now. There is a lot of young MAGA people, very energized online, very committed to, in fact, more committed.
Yeah, I mean, these guys that are at this Jubilee thing, that are from California, are the Spencer Pratt people, right? And we can't forget that places like California, New York, and all the other blue states have Republicans in them. These are the Republicans. Right? Like, these kids are, they're not kids, they're all adults. All these Jubilee members are, like I said, they're representatives of the Republican Party. They don't literally, like, they're not, like, RNC operatives, although some of them might be, I don't know for sure. But, you know, most of them are, like, Republicans, pro-Trump content creators, right? Like, that is who these people are.
To the quote-unquote MAGA platform than Donald Trump is, who doesn't actually believe anything. And that I thought was worth exposing on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And you know, to me, it's like, look, this is the Republican Party.
But these guys think the Republican Party is too moderate.
Yeah, but I think the Republican Party placed them. Yes. I mean, and so, you know, whether there are elected Republicans or there are Republicans who don't, you know, subscribe to this stuff, what's animating their movement is what you exposed on that Jubilee. And I think it's really important for people to understand the stakes and really, you know, how we got here.
I'm so excited to tell you about our sponsor, Avocado Green Mattress. They're certified organic mattresses, sleep cool, relieve pressure, and support your body so you can enjoy deep, restorative sleep. They don't use polyurethane foams. Instead, every mattress uses healthy, natural materials. They're even handmade. My word for it, try it out for yourself. You can actually walk.
Oh, come on. The commercials, Mehdi. Okay, well, I don't have a full show for us prepared tonight, I'm afraid. Alaska's 3.5 hours away from giving us any results. Wyoming is taking forever to count ballots over here. Not a single vote has been counted in any of Wyoming's races yet. I've been sitting here for like 45 minutes waiting for anything to talk about with that. They refused to give me a single vote to talk about. Oh, yeah. And since I don't have a full show, I don't want to just sit here watching Teo's content or anybody else's content without like a, you know, a whole bunch of commentary to add to it. It's not really my vibes around here. It's not how we do things. I prepare ahead of time. So like I just don't feel comfortable just sitting here doing that. The Kornacki stream is over. It's been over for a while now. They don't care. They don't care about Alaska or Wyoming over at NBC. Go fuck yourself, says Kornacki. He can't be bothered to stand there. And unfortunately, we still don't have any new results in District 21. I'm still waiting. It's the only race left in Florida that we're watching. Bernard Taylor is still short by 300 votes. 364 votes with 5% of the vote left to count. I think that number just went up. I think there might be more votes there than expected in District 21. Maybe that's what's taking them so long. I don't know. But suffice to say, I think I'm going to call the stream quite early tonight, I'm afraid. Jesus. We didn't make any progress on the galactic deficit tonight. I am starting to really freak out about that. We got 12 days left in August. $750 needs to be raised. That's concerning to me. That's really concerning. I was so joyous about being remonetized on YouTube. But we are so far behind in pulling things together. I'm really getting worried about things. I don't know. I have to find a job. I might have to find a way of earning money between now and the end of August that doesn't involve YouTube. Because we are doing a really bad job at raising money right now. And unfortunately, your YouTube donations, your Twitch donations, they don't count. I won't see any of that money until the end of next month. And it's the interim period. Right now, it's the gap that we need to finance. If we don't, I'm screwed. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream here, but appreciate you all coming out tonight. Had some okay results in Florida, but I think we all know we would have liked to do better here. Tomorrow I'll try and catch you up on the rest of the happenings from these primary elections. God, I still feel sick. Well, we got through another stream. Till I see you next, you stay classy, Galactic Stream Nation. Well, can't forget this. These are your galactic patrons. Gabby, Goth Dogs, Aaron W, Schmegley, PB, Midi, Afroponics, Narwhal by Nature, Interplanet Janet, Godcat, Robot Cat, Disco Wolf, Callie Braiding, Sammy, Geodragon, The Anticorporatist, Obsessive Audio, Mo Noah, Nadia, Choki, Skelt, Selena, Omega Star, Sasha G, Pitchforks Dragon, Vincent Morales, Donald James X, Evan from Portland, Lovely Pariah, Mish, Becky, Decipher, Icebreaker, Columbia Rican, New York, Will in Detroit, Josephine Dask, BC, Free Palestine, Hermit Horologist, HBX, Manda, Lori Lunchmeat, Carl Gaslight Tocracy, Paige Larson, Frizzla, Benny Hanna 99, Dark Sparkle, CJ from the Six, The Reference Frame, Glitchpasta, Social Butterfly, The Anarchist, Perfect Zell, Winnie and Robin, Young Chris, Echios, Emily S., Hecate, Trevor, Sweet Chewy Forever, Rogue Gerb, Tracy Eva, and Mr. Nice Guy. That's right, all these people here have helped produce the show, which your eyes and ears just got done enjoying. You can too for just a few US dollars a month on Patreon. Oh, and thank you, Columbia Rican, for the donation on Cash App, 10 bones. I appreciate that very much.